introduce our speaker for this morning. Rashida Symonds is an Indigenous and African diasporic woman from Nova Scotia, Canada. Her ancestry is Black Loyalist and Black refugee, Indigenous Canadian, and Bajan. Rashida is an educator, spoken word artist, writer, intuitive, empathic healer, and counselor. She wrote curriculum for the African Canadian Studies course used province-wide at the Nova Scotia Community College. She has worked with youth and families throughout her entire career and is fully dedicated to enriching lives through therapeutic interactions. Her organization, Afro-Scotian Collective, is committed to community and youth advocacy, mentoring, skill building, and working towards healing within the historic African Canadian community in various ways. Her brand, Mighty Royal, is committed to physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness, wholeness, and balance. Rashida is currently working on research projects that explore the ancestral connections between historic African Canadians and Indigenous Canadians, as well as healing through ancestral spirituality in historic African Nova Scotian communities. So I'd like to welcome to the platform Ms. Rashida Symonds.
Good morning, church. Good morning. Just need a minute to set my stuff up. I know that intro was a little bit of a mouthful. That's like my professional intro, but so I just sent that along. But I'm sure most of you guys know me anyway. So, you know, Susan's daughter and Rose and John's granddaughter. So I know that's how you know me, and that's, you know, good enough, I guess, for me, or excellent for me, more than all that stuff. But I did like to include it because I did want to keep people informed of some of the stuff that I would be doing. So then if you kind of see my name and see some of those words like Afrocentric healing and counseling and Indigenous and Afrocentric partnerships, then you'll know that that's me. So I'm just going to set my timer. So I just want to welcome everyone and thank you for welcoming me and sending greetings to the elders and the deacons and the community members, all the graduates and the students, and also all the families and the support systems that allowed the students to be here today. So I actually didn't plan on reading anything. I had a whole thing already prepared. And then as the days went on this week, I started to get different things I wanted to bring out, different things I wanted to say. And I ended up changing the whole thing. So you will see me reading a little bit, just because I want to make sure that everything that came to mind comes out here to you clearly. So I kind of settled on a theme of faith and perseverance. And for those of you who are students, I know that you've had a lot of that to get to where you are today. And even for us community members, our whole lineage and legacy is about having that faith and that perseverance. So I want to touch on those topics a lot today. But also just to say I'm very, very happy to be here. I was very overjoyed when I was asked to be here because education is kind of my thing. I started working as a teenager with the BEA as a tutor for my very, very first job. So it's been my thing since then. And spiritual growth, education and healing are things I feel that really go together. And church is a place for sure where all three of those are present. Amen. So, like I said, a lot of you know I do teach subjects like geography, history, African Canadian Studies, English. But I also always felt that to be a great teacher, you have to have a love for learning and be willing to be a great student. So one of the things that I do is I study a lot. I want to congratulate all the students and graduates and the families, like I said, and support systems. I know for me, to get through all the education I went through, and still now, my family was a huge support system. And I'm just really here to give encouragement and to reinforce how great you are, how beautiful you are, how proud we all are of you here today. So, like I said, when I was thinking of what to say today, one of the things that came up is travel. I don't really want to touch on that too much, but some of you know I've been in and out of Canada lately. And my daughter's actually going to help me with this part. Just to say that I encourage all of you, if you have the opportunity to travel, to do so. And by travel, it could be like to another part of HRM, another part of Nova Scotia, someone else's house in the community, because sometimes we have a tendency to isolate with our friends and our family and what we feel comfortable with. The biggest things, being a learner and a student, that I found is putting myself in situations where it was out of my comfort zone, helped me to grow a lot. It helps you to expand how you see the world.
Right.
I'm sure many of you know this, but I traveled to 2 African countries this year, to Ghana and Tanzania, and I can say that my view of the world completely changed. So I wasn't the same person when I returned. I had met so many people, seen so many things, and experienced such a different way of life. Seeing how other people live life, the obstacles that people face around the world, not only helping me to be very thankful for what I have and what I've experienced and the parents I have, where I was born, but also to see the strength of our people worldwide. Like it's a theme in all the countries and all the people that I met. Just a very strong strength and perseverance. And there were so many traits and characteristics in these communities, overseas, in these African countries, that reminded me of East Preston, reminded me of my family, other Black communities in Nova Scotia. And seeing these cultures firsthand, I just kept thinking of home and how we're the same people. So that being said, I have a plan for the fall, where I'm going to come in and do some community presentations to talk about this further. I don't want to take too much time now talking about it, but I did bring a couple things. These are just some things that I picked up along the way, and my daughter has some more, just to kind of, while I'm talking, maybe circulate, so you can just look at them and feel them and kind of get excited for when you see what will happen in a few months when I give these presentations. So I brought this one up actually because it has some words on the back which can help you to understand what the symbols mean. Thanks. She can't film me and pass at the same time. That's okay. Okay. So, like I said, there were so many things that helped me to reconnect to the land and my people. I brought some things to pass around. Some of them are from Ghana, some of them are from Tanzania. So they're not labeled, but those are the 2 countries that they are from. So, also some of the things that I thought of when I was on the continent is the way that we as a people left the continent, and how faith and perseverance played a huge part in that. How oftentimes we look at how we got here through a lens of being weak, or having lack, or having something taken from us, or being victims, or being totally destroyed. So I began to kind of look at that process differently, how we were taken and brought here. I didn't want to look at it like a victim anymore. I didn't want to look at it like somebody destroyed something or took something from me. And when I was in Ghana, one of the main things that one of the elders said is that we are the strongest of us. So we, those of us that survived and are here, that went through all of these things, some people, especially the elders that I spoke to, they consider us the strongest of them. And they kind of explained it can you imagine being captured, walking for kilometers, no food, no water, being beaten, going overseas, being bound, surviving all the atrocities, and surviving, right? All the wars that our ancestors faced from, the Caribbean, South and Central America, the Americas, Canada, all over the world, and surviving. But not only surviving, but reproducing, living, pushing, generation to generation, until we're here right now, all together in this space, here right now. All that went into that. All the divinity and the faith and the protection that went into us being here. Like, to me, that's something that's amazing. So I stopped looking at it as something being taken from me, but really, it's a keen look into the strength of the human spirit and that our people embody. So if you can just imagine like the strength and the sheer will to survive that our ancestors embodied, I can't fathom it. So to keep that in mind, I don't look at it as a place of weakness. We're the strongest of the strong to have survived all that we have. And it takes enormous inner strength, faith, and perseverance. So all things take a mix of inner and outer strength. Being a teacher, partly is being a great student. So one of the things I do is I study myself and I study my ancestors. So studying my ancestors, I can look upon their accomplishments and know that if they could do what they did with less resources than I have, then I can do anything. I can succeed. What is really stopping me? And many of us have overcome obstacles. All of us here today, whether you see them as great or small, but you have a whole team of ancestors before you that paved the way, to make the way possible, to make it passable, to make the way appear before us, and the spirit to push through all of that. So I really think it takes a warrior spirit to succeed in today's world. And it takes the heart of a student to know, what to do, what not to do, how to move. To learn not only others, but learn yourself. To know your needs, your desires, your talents, your own greatness. And we come from a lineage of survivors. Survivors who moved with bravery and intelligence. Black loyalists, refugees, Maroons. I'm sure all of you recognize some of those names. Even if you're not of that ancestry, you can take strength from their stories. They fought very hard to have us here today. Amen. So have you ever heard the term, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams? Have you heard that said before? And so we truly, truly are. And their greatest gift to us is their legacy. They are like open books for us to study the way they did things, good or bad. Because sometimes you're looking at this story, I might not go that way. And that's a lesson as well. So become a student of yourself and your heritage. I study what's around me. I study my grandparents all the time, and I always bring them up because they were very self-sufficient. So my grandfather had a farm. I learned that you can have a home, have your land, grow your own food, not really eat anything from anyone, not run down to Sobeys, because you got it right here. So I learned that from him, because sometimes in this world, we don't think that's possible. But it's they did that just 2 generations ago, and it was fine, and left things for us. So, they were able to build on that. So you are your ancestors' wildest dreams made flesh. And everything sacrificed is for the truth of your lives right now. The strength of their will is something you can build upon. And it's very important to walk into the world knowing this and to feel uplifted by it. And to feel lifted by their collective strength. So that's how I walk into the world, a little more straighter and a little prouder, even with everything that goes on. Yeah. So like I said, that's kind of things that go on outside of you. And life is a mix of inner and outer, right? So some things that are outer, like I said, studying history, being observant, understanding how people move, identifying patterns, like being smart of your surroundings. But also I study inside. So my thoughts, my emotions, I understand what scares me, what motivates me, what ignites me with excitement, what I excel at, what I'm maybe not so good at, and it helps me govern myself. So for example, if you're someone and you don't really take tests well, you have like what they call testing anxiety, you'll be like, okay, May 28th, we have these important exams coming up, and knowing what you know about yourself, you prepare and prepare and prepare to succeed. So truly knowing yourself and applying it is what definitely helped me and carried me a long way. What I realized more than anything is that cultivating your inner strength reflects on your outer world. So cultivating your spirit is very important. Every experience is a lesson, and we balance it out through facing our fears, pushing through like all of the graduates have done today. The power you have inside you shines outward, and it can be seen and felt in the outside world, which is why you're being honored right now. Like, we recognize you, and all that went into you being here now. I know when I started to strengthen my spirit, people approached me differently, circumstances changed around me, and it was me that was changing, but how I walked into the world was different, and that can be felt. Part of strengthening your inner self is valuing your spirit and the amount of energy and sacrifice that went into you. You are all very, very special, and the spirit in you decided on a goal and achieved it. So that's something to be celebrated. Even more than that, have you heard? In 1 John 4:4 it says that you are of God, and that greater is the spirit in you than the spirit that is in the world. So that was touched on a little bit earlier, actually. So, like, what does that really mean? To have a greater spirit in you than that in the world, and to really hold that in your heart, to walk in the world with that strength and that energy, that what you have inside given by God is so powerful that it can overcome all the things outside of you. So I have a saying that's new, and I usually say, they can't hold me, they can't stop me. And I really believe that, especially when people try to tell me I can't do something, and I know that I can. It's like, you cannot hold me. Like, I can definitely do this. And if I really believe in God, how could they ever? How could they overcome me, right? So truly believing that has carried me a really long way. Another favorite verse, Psalms 91, 10 to 12, says, no harm will overtake you, no disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. So, do we understand that? Like, do we understand like how protected and loved you are? Even if you don't fully feel that power of the Spirit, like on full force, 100%, it's okay because you're still protected. That's right. With this force field. And if you truly connect with the Spirit of God in you, you can overcome all things. So I move with the idea and the belief that not only can I do it, but also I'm protected while doing it. Now, that's not to say setbacks don't happen, but in my life, my setbacks have been, and my challenges have been my greatest periods of growth. So the setbacks are good for you in a way, because you have to learn how to move around them, go over them, go under them, and all those skills help. So this means you have divine protection. No one can hold you, no one can harm you. And the deeper you believe in yourself, in the divine nature of your spirit with faith and perseverance, the stronger you will become internally, and the brighter you will shine externally. people can definitely tell. I'm sure you know that. When you get a little boost in your confidence or you accomplish something, or even if you're looking good, something great happened, people can just tell something's different about you. In closing, I would like to say that you have the power to be your own wildest dream, to move beyond all expectations, the type of faith in self that can only be drawn from divine source of God, which you have the ability to tap into because the Spirit is in you. Proof of your protection is that you're here right now. So we made it. We're the ones that made it. We're here right now, living and breathing despite all the odds. And we all have a future ahead of us that you can shape and mold and create, and a whole community of people cheering you on. So I encourage you all to be brave in your pursuit of your dreams, to study diligently, internally and externally, and to have the